Next on Meet the Farmer TV, putting the nobility back into farming.
I'm Jenny Mackey, the Patient Experience Manager at Broward Health Medical Center in South Florida, and you're watching Meet the Farmer TV.
We're doing micro-sustainable urban farming in Fort Lauderdale. A migrant worker who is basically a mow and blow guy is now put back to being a farmer the way he was in his own country. So we can really solve our health problems by putting these farms in what we now call food deserts. They will create jobs for the people who are underserved in that community right now. And they become esteemed professionals in their community because people see them every day farming. They're people that provide sustenance to that community. They're very important people.
This program is a production of Meet the Farmer TV, LLC, in association with Planet Earth Diversified, Nelly Productions, and Leslie P. Jenkins Photography and Graphic Design. So today we're going to travel to South Florida and find out how Iris Casanova is opening farmers markets, one after another, serving hospitals. We'll talk to Jenny Mackey to find out the patient experience, sort of an inside perspective. But first, let's talk to Michael Madfis, who's doing sustainable microagriculture and putting the nobility back into farming right here, right now on Meet the Farmer TV.
Some of the innovative things we're doing is we're doing micro-sustainable urban farming in Fort Lauderdale. Basically, that means that we're going to do it sustainably without polluting, without having water run off, without wasting water. We don't use any fertilizers or any chemical pesticides. Everything we do is organic. And by sustainable, I also mean economically sustainable. So we distribute the food directly from the farm, direct to consumer. That saves a lot of money in overhead because we have no refrigerated storage and no transportation. That's about 90% of the food costs in most cases. So without that cost, the farmer can earn a very good living selling food direct to consumers. The issue is the consumers have to be nearby. That's why our farms are right downtown, where people at hospitals, office buildings, apartment buildings all live and walk by every day. So that's what we do. So we grow seasonally because we can only grow what grows here in South Florida. During the summer, we grow a lot of crops that people aren't familiar with. We grow callaloo, okra, long beans. We do grow eggplant. The eggplant I have here today is from Thailand. This is a Taiwanese eggplant. I have Italian eggplant. And then this is an Asian eggplant. All these grow year-round here in Florida, but they may not be familiar to everybody. That's a little bit of a challenge sometimes when we go to market. Right now, today, we also have a lot of greens that are familiar to people. We have the kale, we have the collards, we have the mustard greens. So the season's coming back for those greens, and it's sort of exciting to see the customers' eyes open up again when they see the stuff they're familiar with. Based on the fact we don't do transportation and refrigerated storage, my farm is 10 blocks from here. So I basically could walk this food down here for the market today. I bring people to the farm because, like I say, there's always people there nearby. The other thing is we use drip irrigation, which uses 85% less water. We don't use chemical pesticides. Everything's done in compost. So the runoff is not dangerous to local waterways that would become algae plumes if we had a lot of phosphorus runoff from our farm. We don't have that. What else is sustainable about it? Well, we're using land that is basically vacant land that is basically what we call a negative energy center, where crime and vandalism take place. But if we come and farm it, we displace that negative energy with positive energy. And people really don't disturb these farms. Mostly people don't even know what these farms are, so they don't even know what to do with it. And no one's going to run off with a 60-pound tomato plant. And if they do, I'd be very happy that they're getting involved in organic farming themselves. So it's sort of an interesting thing being in the urban context doing this. Economically sustainable, like I said, we save a lot of money. We can actually create jobs doing this. So actually, I'm legally blind and I can do this work. Someone who's autistic could do these projects. Kids who are aging out of foster care, 18, 19 years old, looking for work, they could come and work on these farms. We could have a farm, my farm is only 7,000 square feet, but it serves 100 people each week. So we could have a farm like this on every little vacant lot that's around town. That would create hundreds of jobs. So there's a lot of economic sustainability that could be created here. The other neat thing is that these jobs are local jobs. They're a local economy that keep the money in our area. This changes the issue that we have right now with our wealth disparity, where so many people are poor and very few people are very wealthy. The middle class has disappeared because local businesses have been disappearing. So if we can create a local food system and a local economy around that food, I think we can really change the economy to our favor. A local food system is like any economic system. We have to have producers, which would be farmers producing food. We need processors, people who take that food and turn it into something else. Jams, jellies, baked goods, what have you. Then we need a distribution system. Maybe it's not even distribution, it's just called access. In other words, we create this food right where the people are. So we don't need distribution, but we created access. Then we need marketing and promotions. That's like you have in any business. We need supplies. We need composting, seedlings, and irrigation materials. That's all part of an industry. It doesn't have to be part of a national industry. It can be part of a local industry. Local nursery suppliers could supply us the compost and the organic fertilizers that we do use, the worm castings. They don't do that now, but they could be repurposed and become more of a local supplier. We can do the same thing with land and facilities. In other words, there's vacant land I mentioned earlier that's a negative energy area. We can take that and turn it into a positive energy. Actually, the land here at the hospital, or the land that I'm farming, is what we call a cost center. Someone pays to maintain this landscape right now. I switch that out to crops. They don't have to maintain it anymore. The farmer maintains it. The farmer earns a living from maintaining it. So now what was costing that property owner money to maintain doesn't cost them money anymore. Maybe they even get paid a rent to let someone use that land. So they turn something that was costing them money into a profit center. Now someone's getting a job that may not have had a job before, or maybe the job's being repurposed. A migrant worker who is basically a mow and blow guy is now put back to being a farmer the way he was in his own country, farming a hedge of moringa that they get $12 a pound for the leaves. Now we could replace every hedge in Fort Lauderdale that's ficus and cocoa plum with moringa, which is an African plant that is highly medicinal. People pay $12 a pound for the powder that comes from the dried leaves. So if basically a gardener could come along with a hedge clipper, clip 20 pounds of these leaves, dry them, sell 10 pounds of the powder for 120 bucks. Do that every day. Now he doesn't have to charge anyone to clear that, to trim that hedge, because they're making money selling the end product instead of taking it away to a landfill where it really doesn't do anyone any good. So we can basically turn a local system, or create a local food system out of all these different ideas. But the simple ones are basically having producers of local food like myself, having a processor who makes jams and jellies, having a distribution system or access. All those things make up an industry. Facilities, the land, the kitchens. There's a lot of kitchens that aren't used all the time. For instance, something like Outback Steakhouse doesn't serve lunch. So someone like myself who wants to process my food could use their kitchen. So we're repurposing this national chain restaurant to a local food system. Well, again, besides having a wealth disparity, we have a health disparity. If we look at the areas around transit corridors that tend to be food deserts, the reason for that is that transit corridors support a lot of fast food restaurants, along the highway. The supermarkets tend to be in older neighborhoods that are not near the highway. So that's why we have food deserts along those areas. The people who live in that area tend to be the most underserved, because that's where the cheaper properties are, and they're likely to go to those poor restaurants to get their nutrition. Now, when they look at their dollars to spend and they can buy a taco for 89 cents that has 2,800 calories, almost their daily intake of calorie, where are they going to spend their money? They're going to spend it on that. Now, if we can create a farm like ours, where we can sell the food very inexpensively because of that lack of overhead I mentioned, we're going to distribute the food right from the farm to the consumer. Instead of selling lettuce for $2 a head, we can sell it for $1 a head. Instead of collards being $3 a bunch, they can be $1 a bunch, because we're saving all that overhead. In Immokalee, which is west of here, where they grow tomatoes and they sell them to be brought here east, the farmer gets 2 cents for that tomato that sells for $1 in the supermarket. So 98 cents is going somewhere else. In my case, if I sell a tomato to someone for $1 that would sell for $4 in the store, I get that whole dollar. So I can afford to sell that tomato for $1 instead of $4. That's the difference. So we can really solve our health problems by putting these farms in what we now call food deserts. They will create jobs for the people who are underserved in that community right now. and they become esteemed professionals in their community because people see them every day farming. They're people that provide sustenance to that community. They're very important people. When you plant a seed and the seedling comes up, and next week it gets bigger and bigger, that's called success. When a farmer is out there doing success in front of people, you can't hide it. It's not inside a building. It's out in front of people. People walk by, they see that every day. They now know a model of success. They've never seen a model like that before. Everybody they know works behind a closed door in an office building or somewhere else. They never see their success. A farmer's success is out in the open. Now he's providing sustenance for this community, education, and a success pattern that can be repeated in these areas that are really underserved. The biggest issue that I find with getting healthy food into people is their lack of ability to deal with the food, to cook it basically, how to handle it, how to store it. We're so used to buying packaged foods in the store that we just wrap up the package and put it back in the refrigerator on the shelf. We really don't know what to do with food. So what happens is people are afraid to buy it because they're afraid it's going to go to waste. So we need to create more education. And these farms that I have that are right in the community can provide that education right on site. Every Saturday we can have something as simple as a 15-minute seminar where people come out, they hear from the farmer how to handle food, how to keep it a little bit longer, how to make it last, what they can do with it. Those are things people don't learn anymore. They don't teach that in home ec school anymore. We learn on TV how to cook like Iron Chef, which is take a whole bunch of food, chop out a little piece, throw the rest away, and make something really special. No one cooks like that at home. We need to learn how to cook again. That way we can take advantage of the fresh local food that's available. Growing all kinds of food is possible here in South Florida. The better grower you are, the more sophisticated the products you can grow. Mushrooms require a pretty elaborate environment because you don't want to have any bacteria introduced. But moringa or even neem, you may have heard of some of these plants, neem oil, neem soap. These are things that grow in our climate very easily. Really don't need a lot of cultivation. Again, they can replace ornamental plants, landscape plants with these. You really wouldn't know the difference. And that's what's sort of exciting about them. They're really easy to maintain and we can grow them in large amounts. You can also do herbs like rosemary and basil, but they're more seasonal. There's a time when they'll grow really well and a time they won't grow so well. So they can be more of a challenge. But some of these African plants I mentioned are very easy to grow. Once they get started, they just sort of keep going. A farmer can't just sell food to make a living today. We have to provide a variety of services, which includes a lot of education. We help people set up their own backyard gardens. We set up other farms for other people. We do, like I said, the different levels of education. We sell farm products, the seedlings, the compost, the containers we grow in. So yes, if anyone wants to contact me for any of those purposes, or even just to come out to the farm, bring a group of kids or adults to do a tour, we provide those as well. The name of our farm is Fort Lauderdale Vegetables. We're FortLauderdaleVegetables.com, all spelt out, F-O-R-T, Lauderdale, vegetables with an S, and you can't miss us. Please contact us. We'd be happy to have you come out and see what we're doing.
I am Iris Casanova, and I'm the market manager here at Broward Health Medical Center in South Florida, and you are watching Meet the Farmer TV.
How'd you get the idea to start farmers markets serving hospitals?
Well, it's very interesting how I got started. I actually started as a vendor. I was selling at one of the farmers markets, and it happened to be the slow time of the year was the summer, and I was one of the very few vendors at that market. It was a very busy market, but it was the summertime. So there was someone that came along. I later found out it was a doctor at one of the major hospitals, and I guess really I was one of the few people there at that market that day, and asked if I could put a market together for them. And I went on to, I'm very passionate about these farmers markets. I know what they can do for the local economy, because I'm a living testimony of that. And I said yes. I went through all the, I found out everything I needed to know about putting it together, and I did. That was a very successful market. It's still going in the second season right now. And then I had other hospitals kind of follow suit. They saw how well it was doing. The employees absolutely love it. Especially the healthcare professionals, sometimes they're here for 8, 16 hours, what have you. So first of all, it's difficult to gain really good access to local produce and many other products. And it's a nice change. It's a nice change. So they come out, especially during their lunch break. That's our rush, and they intermingle with the vendors. They get products that you can't even get at grocery stores. Very unique. These vendors are passionate about their products. They make their own. They're all local, or most of them are local, and they can ask questions, which you normally can't do at a grocery store. So not only do they gain access, they come out of here with recipes. The social atmosphere is amazing. As a matter of fact, time and time again, every hospital that we open up, they find a big shift in the number of appointments that their patients make on the day of the farmers market.
Iris, do you have any further thoughts on opening these markets in these special client areas?
If someone wanted to do that in their community, the first step is find a market manager. It makes it a lot easier. And if I'm around and I believe it's a feasible venue, then I'm more than happy to help, sit down and see how we can get it going. We're right now we're doing up actually 7 markets and working on an additional 2. If not, contact a market manager, someone with experience, because there's a lot of things involved. There's of course food permits, and there's a whole array of things that are involved. So you'll want to contact someone that has some experience or at least has worked with farmers markets. Here we have some very unique products. Most of it is local. That is the whole gist of the farmers markets, and we have, as far as the produce. Let me talk about the produce first. We have a lot of exotics. Again, things you don't find in the market at the regular supermarket. For example, myself, I've learned so many about a lot of exotic fruits. There's the jackfruit. It's the largest in the world. Most markets, not even specialty markets, will carry things like that. Rambutan and all sorts of lychees, and actually you can try them. You can get recipes from the produce vendors. So I think I would probably categorize them into 2 different types: the actual farmer that grows it and brings it to the market. So we have those here, and we also have people that have acreage and have product, but they also have neighbors that farm and have products, can't necessarily pick it, bring it to the market, get employees to come. The whole logistics is not feasible for them. So I have a wonderful vendor that I take to most of my markets, and he does just that. He goes and sometimes he just gets on the trees and picks them himself and just has an amazing array of local products. We also have apiculturist, which basically is a fancy name for beekeeper. And I've got for example, I've got someone that does honey from Key West, very specific to the plants and the flowers that are grown there. So these are the type of things that you find here that, again, is just very unique and very specific to the local area. For the local economy, oh my goodness, a lot of these vendors, I have chefs that were, especially when the economy was, in not so good shape, they lost their jobs. So they were able to actually start the business. The startup cost is minimal, basically, a 10 tables, chairs, and really you get it going. And I have a lot of vendors that do 10, 12 markets. They just go all over the place. And I've got many that have actually found it even more feasible than the regular, what is it that they're called, a brick and mortar type of business. So they come out to all these farmers markets and bring their product out to the people. They stand in front of the people. The networking for them is amazing too. They get all sorts of thousands of people in front of them where they may not have done so in a regular shopping center. So, and the other thing is that the money stays here in the local economy. So these vendors have been able to, many of them have not only been able to start their business, but they also hire people, their families, benefit from it. So it's huge as far as the benefit for the local economy. I've had several of the hospitals express interest in purchasing local produce from the vendors. Local eggs. I have one vendor. She's a lady. She has this beautiful farm, and she just brings amazing array of eggs that you didn't know existed. The green eggs and ham from Dr. Seuss, they exist. So she brings them, and she actually breaks them open so people see the difference between commercial egg that you buy at a regular supermarket and those. And just last week I had one of the dietitian asked how they can purchase those eggs to incorporate. So I don't know if they've got the program going, but there's definitely a lot of interest, and they are inquiring with the vendor directly about getting the local produce in there. What I hear a lot about the benefits of having the local produce is the footprint. That's what comes up over and over again. These are products that are produced or picked a few hours before getting to the market. You can't get that at a regular supermarket. Sometimes the product or the fruit is in transit for so long for it to get to the grocery store. So certain ingredients or what have to be added in order to preserve them. This is not the case with the farmers markets. They purchase what they're going to sell it on that day or the following day at the other market, which is another huge benefit of these hospitals. We have a captive audience, so now we can do weekday markets. It used to be that it was only weekend markets or primarily weekend markets for the farmers markets. Now we have all these weekday markets going on while the entire staff is here. And it gives, first of all, it's wonderful for the vendors. Now they don't only have to rely for their income on the weekends. They could do a daily market, and so it also works well because from one day to the next they still have product and they're able to pick the following day. Let me tell you a little bit about some of my favorite vendors. The honey vendor. I absolutely love the honey vendor, first of all, because they give you the whole education about not only honey, but all the wonderful products, that the byproducts that the bees produce. And again, you could just get a lesson out of all this. You know, it's not only the honey, but it's the pollen, the propolis, which is I understand, the antibiotic, and how it's all done. And it's just very, very, very interesting. And you also get to taste. This is another thing. You also get to taste the different types. You know, the ones from the mango, from the mangrove, which are things that, again, going back to your regular, ordinary supermarket, you buy it, take it home, you like it, you buy it again. So here you actually get to try them. It's kind of like wine tasting, you know, honey tasting.
The bees is very, very important for our world because without bees we don't have any vegetation. We could not have the world that we have now. It's very important for all the vegetable, for all the pollination. We come from the Keys, and the Keys is a very beautiful place for the bees because we don't have any agriculture. So that means that our honey free of pesticide, and also it's very important to have raw honey. That means that all the pollen and the thousands of enzymes that produce the bees is in the honey. That is very important for your body because helping you to increase your immune system and to battle with allergies, and also to feeling great, a lot of energy. It's very good to go to the gym. It's very good for doing a sport. You're feeling a so amazing energy that you cannot believe. And all the most important for us, especially in the Keys as a beekeeper, that we help in the restoration of the Keys because the bees helping all the pollination in all the place, and you cannot see the quantity, amazing sea grape that we have now in our beach. We have also black mangrove, and believe or not, it's a really, really good job. I enjoy it to see my bees arriving with pollen, for giving pollen to the babies. And we have also propolis, that is a natural antibiotic, better than a penicillin, for helping in all your sickness. It's a very, very great job. And in the Keys, we enjoy it sunset, we enjoy it sea breeze, and we enjoy it to have good honey too. I will be so pleased to receive everyone that will be in contact with the nature, that will know about the bees. We invited to visit us in the middle of the Keys. Our bees are around all the state park, and you come see us in our website, www.keys-bees.com. You will be welcome, especially if you love bees. Really, raw honey, more clear the honey, more tendency to be crystallized. The best way is only put in a window with sun or in your car. They will heat it naturally, and they will start to be again the raw honey that you love it before.
Just put it in the sun.
Just putting in the sun, never heating, because if you heat the honey, you destroy the thousands of enzymes that the bees put in there, and also the pollen that is very important for our health. Thousands of years, the honey has been so important, and we have found honey in the tomb of the pharaoh, and it's Alexander the Great was born with honey, and still to be the same honey. I will not take it because I have the pleasure to have fresh honey, but still to be good.
The jellies, the jams and jellies. For me, it used to be strawberry, grape, you know, you're very limited. Well, I've got vendors that do habanero gold, which is, I understand, his most popular one, with habanero peppers, balsamic tomatoes. These are the type of jellies. Pinot Grigio, I love that one. So he's one of my favorites too.
These are all herb-infused vinegars, going from marinating to hot all the way up to ghost pepper.
Tell us a little bit about it, yeah.
Well, we grow everything that you see here is out of our garden, and we infuse it for 30 days. So it sits in a jug, and like a chili garlic, it's got garlic and jalapeno in it. So it's got a nice garlicky taste. Then we also do ghost pepper jellies. We do a mango, we do just a tingle, which is less hot, and just shoot me, which is real hot.
Currently, we're working on accepting EBT at the markets. It's very important that everyone has access. The lower income, middle income, upper income. It's not class specific. We want everybody to have the opportunity to eat healthy, to get fresh produce, local produce, and we're definitely working on that. And the vendors themselves are very, very good about working with the vendors on a one-to-one, not the vendors, the customers on a one-to-one. Remember, this is they create friendships, they create relationships. So not only the vendors are a little bit of I want to say a family. It's a close-knit family. They know each other. They almost travel together, you know, from market to market. So it does become a family, and so do the customers. These are recurring customers that come week after week that will spend 20 minutes sometimes speaking to these vendors. So to get the community together, there's nothing like it. It's not only about the product, which is extremely important, but it's the social context of it that just brings people together in a way. Food brings people together. So what better way to bring people together than the food that these vendors are personally making and are passionate about it.
Now let's get an inside perspective and let's find out what the patient experience is like at these markets. Let's talk to Jenny Mackey. She's the manager of patient experience.
I'm Jenny Mackey, the Patient Experience Manager at Broward Health Medical Center in South Florida, and you're watching Meet the Farmer TV.
Jenny, what's it like having a farmer's market at the hospital?
Well, we got the idea to do the farmers market from our employees, actually. They brought it to us. They saw it happening in other hospitals and asked, hey, is this something we can do here in our hospital? Our downtown location really makes it perfect for the local downtown community to have access to the fresh vegetables and other products. And our staff absolutely love the ability to be able to come down and get something different and fresh and shop for their homes. Our staff love it for a lot of different reasons. One, it's something different. You know, they're able to do some shopping during their workday, which for a working person is always very convenient. They get access to things that they don't typically have access to at their local grocery store. Really fresh fruits and vegetables, different kinds of honeys, teas, spices, nuts, pickles. You know, there's all kinds of different things that come together in a farmer's market that you can't really find anywhere else in one location. It gives them a chance to get out of the hospital, take a break, experience something fun and different. And for the local community, it's great too, because they're able to do that. Our location really makes it perfect for that. And our patients and their families who are waiting in the hospital, it's like a special treat. You know, they're coming to the hospital for probably something that's not so fun, and then, oh, lo and behold, here's a fun farmer's market where they can kind of get their mind off things for a little while and do some shopping and eating. It's a social venue for them. It's a break from the everyday. It's access to healthy fruits, vegetables, and other local products. And so it's really all those things. Plus, it really has lifted employee morale and satisfaction. They love having the farmers market, and they're really happy that we're able to bring this right here where they work and spend the majority of their time. Well, we just really think having the farmers market here is a win-win. It's a win for the vendors because they're able to, you know, come out here and make a living, and it's a win for the people who are able to purchase things from them. Everyone walks away from the farmers market with a smile, and the fact that we can do that here on the hospital grounds is just an added benefit. If a local hospital was interested in starting this up in their own community, or if a community wanted to bring this to a hospital location, because it is a really target market, so to speak, a captive market, I think the first step is to speak with someone in the hospital administration to see there are some rules and regulations that need to be addressed and followed. So speaking to someone in marketing is probably the best first step if you're trying to establish this with the hospital in your community.
Well, there you have it, another great episode of Meet the Farmer TV. I'm Michael Clark saying keep farming from South Florida. This program is a production of Meet the Farmer TV, LLC, in association with Planet Earth Diversified, Nelly Productions, and Leslie P. Jenkins Photography and Graphic Design.